Hi everybody, today we're going to switch our Mark Kustom Clippers, which is the same process as you would be doing Magic Clip from Wahl, for the Kustom Clippers clear casing, in this case the red. So we're going to show you how to do it. It's a very simple process. Before you start, make sure all your parts are out so they're easy to identify, okay? And make sure you have the 6 large screws, 2 mid-sized screws, and 2 small ones like we have just here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is disassemble our clipper, and the first step we're going to take is to remove this part, which is push down and forward, and you take it out. And then we are going to take out our blades. So the blades are very simple. Right now I'm using the magnetic mat from Kustom Clippers, which I really like because it's a way of not losing anything to the magnets here. So take your blades out. Next step, we're going to do the lever, this side. Just unscrew it. There we go. You won't need the lever because it's in your set already, and you keep the ring and your screw right there. So next step, this part out, slide it like this, and then this part we're just going to open it like this, take this out, and you want to keep the spring that holds your blades as well, and the bolt that you have just here. There we go. So we're ready to continue disassembling the clipper. Once you took this out, now the case, it's not tricky, but it has a way of doing it. So from the bottom part, raise it, pull it. And that's because you have this pins in here, 1 and 2, that will go into the case here and here. So you just don't want to rip it out. Then the motor cover. One. Two. And 3. Usually the entire process should take about not more than 15 minutes. It's actually really easy. Just follow the steps and you'll be fine. Motor cover, just up and out. Separate the rubber part, the plastic part, you keep the rubber, plastic you don't need. Then we continue with the switch. You'll find 2 screws, the small ones there. Take one out. And the second one. And finally, once you have this done, you can pull up your switch, your plug here, the motor from the back part, the front going out, your battery, first the upper part, and you can easily just take out the rest of a clipper. Finally, take out the switch here. There we go. You don't need this anymore. And on the switch you have to be careful. Just this part, remove it carefully. and you will find this iron ball. So I usually just flip it over, push it, and you're good to go. And your entire clipper is assembled. Now we're going to proceed to reassemble the clipper in our new case. So the first thing we're going to put, it's this part where it says keep blades oiled. This is going to go in this back part of the case, like this. Just sits there. And for this part, you're going to use the medium screws that are coming with your kit, or the smaller silver stainless steel screws. Now it's important to remember that you don't need to put the screws like very tight into the case. What you're looking for is just to avoid the parts from to be moving, so you won't have no noises and stuff in your clipper. So as far as it's like this, it's good. Next thing, we're going to put your motor in. This foam part is going to be the bottom, like forward, back. There you go. And then your battery, if you're forgetting something, you have wires on the bottom, nothing on the top, so the top goes in first. And these cases are designed to fit everything properly, so don't worry. Then you have this chip or your motherboard, which will sit in the rails in the case. I don't know if the camera can actually catch that, but you have two small rails in here. Okay, so put this in. And you can see through the case while you're doing it. It makes it easier. There you go. And finally, the plug. You have a pin here, and you have the hole in your plug here. So the hole goes into the pin, and that's it. Now, if you see that you have this kind of spacing in here, don't worry, it's perfectly fine. We'll fix that later. So once you have all this, you're ready to reassemble your switch. And in your switch, you'll find that you have two holes. One of them is larger. So, I don't know if it's capturing correctly. There you go. The large hole, it's the one that is going to hold the little iron ball that we took out from your clipper. So and it's going to be facing down. So just put the ball in there, just like that, no need to push. And then this part, okay, you're going to put it like this and in. And that's it. You see it holds, it's getting held by the ball in there. Okay. So once we've done that, you can put this in the side for a second. Just move the cables so you have a clear space to work. And this hole on the switch will fit perfectly in the pins, the bronze or copper pins that you have there. So just push a bit. Now it's important, you don't need to do anything really hard. This is not about pushing, clicking a lot. Just to kind of a puzzle, putting the pieces on the right place, and that's it, you're good to go. There you go. So turn on, off, perfectly fine. So next thing you want to do is to connect your cables to your switch with the small black screws. It's easier when you're doing it at home, I'm sure, because you're sitting and you actually look everything you're doing much better than I. There we go. So one is in. And at this point, make sure your clipper is in an off position. This is the off position. Because otherwise, when you try to connect this one, the motor is going to start running, and you don't want it. So now we're going to attach the second cable. There we go. Once you have attached both of your cables, you want to check out if the clipper is actually turning on and off, which in this case it does, meaning we did everything correctly. Next step, we're going to put our motor cover. So you take your rubber part, your plastic part, just push it through. See, it fits perfectly well. There we go. And now it's the time to put your little magnet that comes with your clipper here. The magnet helps with stability on the motor and reduces the noise. And here we're going to use the large screws. So we have one, two, three. Double check, still running, everything looks good. Now we move forward with the cover. The cover, as I mentioned before, it has these pins, 1, 2, that going 1, 2 here. So the way of putting it in is like this. So you see you have like this, holding it there, and it just closes perfectly. So we're going to take one more of our screws. You don't need to tighten it too hard, just to make it sure it's closed. At this point, I would recommend you to put this one on, just because it's easier when you have this still loose. So just like this, push it back, and you're good. Finally, 2 screws in. And you see now the space that we had, it's gone. Next step, we're going to take this little red cap, that is the part that goes in here, okay? Just push it through, and that's it, done. Now we continue with the back part of our clipper. So the first thing we want to install is the spring that we took off from from the last clipper. You will see that the spring has like this kind of, I would say like horns. If you put it this way, you'll see that you need to have the points facing in, meaning this is the way you want to put it in. Okay, and it holds there. Next step, you take this part, and you will find that your case has this little rail in here. So that's where this sits, just like, don't worry about the spring, it will pretty much self-install. There you go. Just make sure that you have this kind of a movement. That means you did it right. Next thing we're going to install is the metal part where the blade is actually screwed in. And in your case, you will find that you have like these 2 spaces, one here, kind of a rail, and the other one on the other side. Where this holes is, That's where the lever is going to be attached. Just make sure that when you put it in, you're doing it in a straight way. There you go. And then you will see that you find the hole where the lever is going to go in. So we take our lever, our screw with the metal ring in it, have it ready, and now you take your bolt in this position, you put it in. There you go. Put this back. Time for this. And you just want to screw this all the way in. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there just for the video. But important thing here is to make sure that your lever has this little pin that goes in here, and that's what makes your clipper to move up and down. So you want to make sure you're putting it in the correct place, okay? Next thing, we're going to install our blades. 1 and 2. While I'm doing this, I'm going to take the opportunity to show you how to zero gap your clippers. So you want to put this screw on, not all the way down, just enough to hold the blade. In this case, we're using a stagger tooth, which is really good if you're going to do fades. And if you see you don't screw it all the way down, you will be able to move the blade. So you can now just put the lever all the way up, just like this, and you can measure how close you want your blades. Now, don't forget to oil your blades. That will make your blades last longer. 1, 2, 3 drops, a 4th on the side, and your clipper will actually run much better. Once you have oiled your blades, your clipper is ready, and you have an amazing clear case on your Magic Clip or your Mark I. Hope you like it. If you ever need anything, guys, just contact us at barber.com. We will try to do as many videos as you request. Hopefully we can help you. We are located in Las Vegas at Barber Depot. That's 2580 South Decatur Boulevard. If you're in town, come visit us. Follow us online. Our website, it's bybarber.com, and our email is contact@bybarber.com. Thank you, enjoy, and have a good day. Bye-bye.